don't know. Oh, I'm live. Oh my goodness, I've never done this before. Okay, let's see. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna have to like get this set up. All right, this is so weird. This is the first time I've ever done this before. I don't know if anybody can see me. If anybody can hear me, let me know. I'm trying to get used to this. All right. Well, it looks like one person's watching. I don't know where to look, you guys, so I'm going to try to. All right. Let me know if you're here, because I don't know how this works. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the comments. I turned it on. I hope so. And, oh, there's 3 people watching. Okay. Hi, everybody. All right. I guess I'll just start talking, and if I see your comments, that'll be awesome. If not, I still don't see anybody's comments. So I literally just like walked in the door. I was shopping this morning, and I decided not to go to Walmart because every time I go to Walmart, I assume that they have low prices, and then I end up overspending. So I went on to Vons. My family is outside swimming in the pool, and they don't know I'm home yet. So at any moment, in a little while, I could still see them, but they might come charging into the door, and if they do, then you'll hear a lot of racket. But anyway, so I had a few things that I wanted to talk to you about. I still don't see any comments yet. Let me see. Maybe I'm supposed to hit this little doohickey. Live chat. Okay, it's supposed to be visible. Okay. All right, it's supposed to be working. I have no idea. Guard your privacy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, I had some things I wanted to talk to you about. One of them was I appreciated all of the feedback I got on finding other creamers and toppings for pancakes that were lower in sugar and things like that. I think I'm going to do a grocery haul, and I'll show you what I got. I did pick up some of the items that you suggested. I have to remember to look at the camera here. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you about was this week, did you find out that there are things that you had that should not have been, like you've been classifying as regular food, but now you found out that it's more of a dessert because of the sugar content? It's probably more of a dessert, right? And I wanted to know if you ran into that, because I did. Most notably, I think, was the yogurts, and not really mine, because I use the non-fat yogurt, and I think I see my family coming. All right, but for the kids, I use the Light and Fit yogurt, and it's slightly sweetened, vanilla flavored. Now that one has, I think it's listed as 11 grams of sugar, and so I gave them like half of a serving this morning. So we figured it out that their serving was like 3. It cost them 3 grams of sugar this morning. But that one can really bite you. And I was going on figuring out that the non-fat Greek yogurt is about 7 grams of natural sugars that just comes with the yogurt. And then I added on top of that, which was about what, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 4. I just rounded it off about 5 just to be on the safe side. But that fits more in line with the dessert, I think. You know, it's just, I was, one of the things that I used to love was going to TCBY yogurt. And we used to, you know, I mean, I think they even have like boysenberry flavored from Knott's Berry Farm right now. But I don't know. We went there because the other day, not the other day, a couple weeks ago, right? And I went in and it really wasn't that good. I mean, nothing against TCBY, but all of a sudden it just didn't feel like, it wasn't really, I don't know, it wasn't that big of a deal. So, I mean, I'm kind of like done with that. I think my family's coming in. It's going to be like so loud in a minute. I'm sorry about that. We'll get it together and we'll know how to do live next time we do this. So anyway, I think there are 6 of you guys watching now. Anyway, try to chat if you can and let me know if you want to say hi. That way I know who it is. Oh, here comes everybody. All right, if it gets too loud, I'll just kind of like sign off for now and then check in later. But okay, so if you've been with me for a while, you know I have kind of like a weakness for Dairy Queen, right? Dairy Queen dipped cones, right? And so the other day, I was feeling, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was feeling like, oh, I could go with a dip cone. I've been keeping my sugars low. They let the dogs in. Hi, baby. And so I thought, sorry about this. Misty, stop that. Sorry about that. All right, so I thought, okay, maybe I should go get, come here. Maybe I should go get a small cone, right? And that won't be a big deal. Hi, how are you? You want to say hello? Oh my goodness. And then I looked up the sugar grams, right, of course. And would you believe that a small cone has 31 grams of sugar, right? In a small. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is a good example of one of those foods that, you know, might fit into my Weight Watchers points, but it really doesn't fit into my sugar grams, right? Or vice versa. Come. And come here, baby. Oh, no, she's barking. All right. This is live. This is why I don't usually do live. Come here, baby. I don't know why they're barking like this. All right, but I opted not to have it, of course, and I think I'm just gonna let her out. Hang on a second. Come on. Good job. All right, no idea. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so I opted not to have the Dairy Queen because it was 31 grams of sugar. I think in points it was just like, I don't know, 16 or something like that. But to think that I used to get a medium, right, whenever I went, and that's after eating like a full day of points, right? I used to get a medium, and I'm like, what's that? Probably like 50 something grams of sugar. There's just no way. And I wasn't willing to spend it, you know, yesterday, I think it was. And so I just let that go, right? And so that's one of the. Okay, I gotta let my husband in. Hang on a second. Thanks. Do you want to come in? No. Okay. He says no. They just got out of the pool. There's no way my husband's going to join me, and I need him to answer a few questions. But, okay. If you could keep the dogs out, that would be really nice because they keep coming in and barking. That'd be great. Anyway, I am, okay, I've got 4 people watching right now. You know what? I can't seem to see the comments, if there are any comments. So maybe if I can, I thought, let me go. I just can't seem to. Oh, Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for saying hi. I needed to know there was someone actually out there. All right, so I'm going to get this live down before the next time we do this and give everybody a little bit more of a hi, Suzanne. How are you doing today? I'm going to give everybody more of a heads up next time I get on here. Okay, guys, so this is throwing me off. It's like I'm so at ease when I'm doing like regular videos, but I've never done a live before, so this is kind of, I'm so glad you're doing good, Suzanne. Are you ready for this to be over? I'm just wondering how you guys are feeling about this. I mean, do you find that it's different from what you've been doing, going low sugar this week, or is it pretty close? Because I think for me it's pretty close to what I have been doing, so it hasn't been a really big deal. Well, so I say, but, you know, we were talking yesterday, hubby and I were talking, and you were asking about pancake topping. What I do is lower sugar jam, a little water, heat on the stove, and add some fruit, and it's good. That's Lisa Connor. You know what? That's a great idea. I think I'm going to explore more fruit toppings for that, for the pancakes, and I totally hadn't even thought about that. But I guess we could really go, you know, kind of into all kinds of fruit toppings. I just hadn't even thought about that. Um, yeah, I just, I think we get so used to the toppings that they serve at, like, IHOP, and those are so sugary, and we don't think beyond, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Growing up, pancakes were like one of my favorite things. It was like one of the, favorite breakfasts that I would go to. But oh my goodness, I had no idea the amount of sugar that I was, taking in. So, okay, Charlotte says, doing good today. This challenge has made me way more aware. I am so glad. I agree with that. I totally feel the same way. You should have seen me shopping today. I was like this mad woman looking at all, I mean, I was really reading those, contents and ingredients. It was amazing. Okay, so I did pick up the nut pods, and the nut pods look really good for a creamer, but they're a little pricey and you get less. Suzanne says it wasn't as hard as I thought, but I was surprised that the Dannon Light and Fit yogurt has so much sugar as I was counting points. I agree with you. Yeah, that's what we ran into as well. And I no longer use the Light and Fit. Um, I won't eat like a whole container, but if I use it, I'll just cut it down and use like half at a time, and then I mix it with half a cup or a quarter cup of non-fat plain yogurt. And but I won't eat a whole one anymore because it's not worth it to me on points, and it's not worth it to me on sugar. So I'd much rather spend it on something that's, a little bit like tonight. We have our date night. So we're going to be going out. Of course, my husband loves to go to the buffet. And so that's what we're going to go to. I like it okay. Lisa says, Too Good yogurt is lowest in sugar. Oh, I need to look for that. Charlotte, I took so long shopping today that my husband was getting worried. How funny. That's so hilarious. That's awesome, though. I mean, because it seems like we're spending all this time doing it now and it's taking longer to do things, but we're setting up for the future. So, I mean, once that knowledge is in there, and you can't unknow, and it'll be much quicker, as long as you know what you're out there and you're getting. So, it's just like price shopping, only we're doing the same thing for sugar, right? And there's so much hidden sugar in everything. And that was a topic for discussion at our breakfast table this morning. I almost turned it on for breakfast so you guys could kind of mukbang with us, but I don't know, it gets kind of rowdy sometimes around the table. I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing that. But yeah, we were comparing, with the kids. And Suzanne says, I also like the Too Good yogurt and some berries. Add berries to it. Lisa, Kat, did you see the message on the creamer? Was that yes, I did. And I was looking for was it Califia Farms, I think? Where I went, they didn't have it. And I was wondering if that was something that I would find at Sprouts or maybe at a food store that's a little bit more, I want to say, health conscious. Because Vons and Albertsons are like the same, and they offer very little in ways of, like, I don't want to say little and healthy alternatives, but a lot of the things you'd find at like Whole Foods or something like that, I can't find at Vons. And so I picked up the nut pods while I was there, and I figure I'll stop at Whole Foods or Sprouts and look around for that one later. But you know what? I was going to share with you guys something about, I hadn't thought about this. I was looking at the Muscle Milk, and I was looking at the Premier Protein for possible creamers for my coffee. And it was so expensive. I had no idea it was so expensive, but it was like 4 of them. Lisa says I get at Publix, but yes, Sprouts should have it. Okay, so I will look at Sprouts for that creamer then, Lisa. Suzanne says, I do like the nut pods, but they are expensive. They are. And so that's the one thing I'm worried about because, hubby uses it, I use it. Sometimes we have a coffee a couple times a day. And then I also add it to my oatmeal, or I add creamer to my oatmeal as well. And it just, for me growing up, I would actually add like gobs of butter to my oatmeal. I know that's horrific, but so it kind of takes place of that creamy thing for me. And I kind of feel like I need that. So I'm worried that it'll cost me a fortune in nut pods, the way that I'm going to drink it and eat it. But oh, so I was going to tell you guys, um, I was thinking of, okay, I was looking at the Premier Protein. It was like $9.99 at Vons for like four of them, right? And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so expensive. I'm thinking Walmart might have it for less. But then somebody had mentioned how, there's some questionable ingredients in it, so to look into that. And I heard something about the heavy metals being in it. And I am very worried about heavy metals in things because, I mean, I'm 52 right now, I'll be 53 this year. But heavy metals on the brain, I mean, I just really want to steer clear of anything that can add to Alzheimer's and, that kind of a um, degenerative sickness on my brain. And I know heavy metals accounts for a lot of that. So I got to be careful about that. But I looked at muscle milk, and that was, I think, even more expensive. And I know that a lot of people like those, and it comes with high regard. But then I thought about it. I'm thinking, well, what I really like is the egg white protein powder, right? That's like my favorite. So why don't I just take some of that and try to add that? I know egg white sounds like kind of gross to be adding to coffee, but it's not really. It doesn't look like that. It looks like a powdered milk or something, and that's what it tastes like. But I'm wondering if that's going to maybe be a good alternative, right? Suzanne says, I like the Blue Diamond unsweetened almond milk creamer. I don't think that I've tried that one yet. I think that might be something that I'll look into probably on the next time. Because I bought like 3 creamers when I was at the store today. So I have like a creamer shelf now for my fridge. So anyway, Charlotte says, Walmart has some of their Equate brand in vanilla and chocolate that is cheaper. Okay, so that's pretty much okay. I'll check it out and look at the ingredients and see if that's an even trade. I do want to try it. I know that I hear a lot of good stuff about, as far as like meal replacement and keeping you satiated. So I might do that. So anyway, okay, so we're almost there. Do you guys, Lisa says, I get 100-calorie muscle milk at Target, best price. I'd like to try the creamy cashew milk, heard was good. You mean the Silk brand? Because I use Silk, oh wait, no, that's something else. I use Silk cashew, but it's unsweetened, but it's not that creamy. Charlotte says, I just use whole milk. I grew up on whole milk, and I don't know why I got away from that. I started buying Fairlife just because it's like lactose free, and my hubby likes it. And so, but that we buy the 2% one, and he'll put some of that in a latte when he makes me one of those sometimes. But I don't usually like drink it just to drink like a glass of milk because then I have to count. It's more calories, whereas the cashew milk that's unsweetened is only like 25. And then also I have to add more sugars, and I don't usually like to do that. It's a treat. If I were to drink it, if I were to drink like Fairlife or whole milk, it would definitely be a treat for me. But I love whole milk from growing up. Rosie's here. Hi. She says hello to everybody. Lisa says, doesn't milk have sugar in it? Yes, it does, because it's dairy, so naturally dairy has sugar in it. And I think it seems quite high because if you read the back of it, I bought some, what was it? It's some sort of farms. It was a lactose-free milk for the kids. It was reduced fat today, and I looked and there were 11 grams of sugar on the back. And then I had to double check that they didn't add any cane sugar to it. And I was right. It was just the milk. It's just the casein, the sugar that comes with that. Charlotte says, me either, just in the coffee. Oh, twice a day. Okay, so maybe I should try that. A little whole milk in it. Do you use any sort of a sweetener, Charlotte, like the skinny syrups? Because I am, as you guys might know, I'm kind of hooked on the skinny syrups. And I love them, but I kind of want to inch away from having them as often as they do them because I feel like, I hear a lot about the more artificial sweeteners that you have, then they're so much sweeter than sugar, they kind of get your taste buds looking for more of that. Sarah B35. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. Um, yeah, I had a little bit of a rough, rocky beginning, but Charlotte, not anymore. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, so you just drink it without any sweetener now? Oh, see, I'd love to do that. I just don't know if I could. I don't know if I could make the break totally from like unsweetened or artificial sweeteners. I probably can, but it scares me to think of doing that indefinitely. I am definitely married to a sugar addict, most definitely. And that, that might be one of the reasons why he's not in here right now. But he doesn't want to be called on the carpet. But he's getting better. I think this really helped the both of us, you know. So, how many of you, how many of you guys think that you're gonna maybe carry this on, maybe into the next week or a little bit longer, maybe on your own, just cutting back on the sugar? I mean, do you think that this wasn't enough time, or Suzanne says that would be hard for me to go without sweetener. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think that it's not only retraining the taste buds, but I think it's really big behaviorally, and just knowing, it's so hard to get past the mind, I think. Just knowing that I'm not going to have that, you know what I mean? And reframing another kind of a treat is probably the biggest obstacle. Charlotte says just being aware and cutting back. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I'm trying to do now. So by lowering the sugars, I figure my steps are going to be number one, lowering my sugars. I may do that for another week before I start cutting out even more sweeteners. Rosie says, I'd like to continue doing this. I know I eat too much sugar. I don't feel good or really satisfied anymore. Oh, okay, okay. So you don't feel really good or satisfied? Like, do you mean you don't feel like you're getting enough of the sweet? Um, Rosie, I'm not quite sure what you meant by that, but yeah, there's a sugar-free bakery that's not far from here. And if I'm like really jonesing or something, I figure, oh, I'll just go in there and I'll get like, they make these really huge cream puffs. And, of course, they're stuffed with whipped cream. Rosie says, I know it's unhealthy for me. Yeah, it is a struggle though, Rosie. It is. It's just one of those things that I think, we just have to keep chipping at that iceberg, and one day we'll notice that it's a lot smaller. You know what I mean? We're doing it. And chipping away behaviorally and changing our habits, it adds up. Charlotte says, I started by using more milk for the first week, then cut back to normal milk. Oh, I'll do that. Rosie says, sugar isn't what I want to overeat year after year. Right. Me either. And, especially as we get older, our skin changes. And no, sugar just ages us so much faster. It's phenomenal what it does to us. So it's literally a poison for our skin. So anyway, I was telling you about that bakery. I can go down there and get one of those cream puffs, or they have all kinds of sweets, and they use what is it, potassium acesulfame, I think. Charlotte, I wish. Rosie, I'd like to add less sweetener to my coffee for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's like the first front for me, Rosie. I'm really trying there. Charlotte said I could stop all. That is awesome. You are my hero, Charlotte. I truly aspire to be able to do that. I really do. So that bakery, I go down there, I get one of those cream puffs, and it's funny because behaviorally, I feel like I'm getting something that I want, and it satiates a weird part of me that wants something. But sugar-wise, it's still not, I can tell that, I didn't have anything that was, I'm still jonesing, right? After that. So it kind of feels like, why even try right now? But one thing I noticed that there's actually a French bakery that I used to go to, and I stopped going there Charlotte says, would, sorry, wish not do now. Wish not do now. LOL. Oh, that somehow that didn't transfer quite right, Charlotte. Lisa says, I will be more aware of sugar in products as I buy them, but some days I have some sugar, but overall I watch my intake. Sugar doesn't make me feel good, so I have to be conscious about my choices. I totally agree with that. What symptoms, you guys, do you get when you have too much sugar? That's what I want to know. Because I'll tell you what, with me, I know when I've had too much because, of course, there's a bloating, inflammation, of course, and that can last up to 2 days for me, 2, 3 days. But I do get a stomach ache, and I don't know if anybody else gets that as well. And then besides that, the next morning I can look forward to a couple of blemishes. Suzanne gets a bad headache. Oh, you know what? I think that happens to my husband as well. It doesn't stop him, but it does happen to him. Rosie experiences bloating. I hate the bloating. I can't stand it. I know it. One thing that happens to me is Rosie also gets tired. Lisa gets bloating, stomach bothers her. Yeah, I can't believe I got my ring off right now. This is what happens. Rosie also gets irritable. Oh boy. You know what? I agree with you. When I have too much, don't you feel like it brings you down and then you just feel bad? Does anybody I get brain fog too. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but it feels like I'm just like directionless, right? And it lasts a good while. I mean, it probably lasts the rest of the day, whatever day that I had that in. Yeah, so sugar is, for me, it's almost as bad as coffee. Yeah, Rosie experiences brain fog too. I really can't stand the brain fog, honestly. I have to say, yesterday when my kids made a lot better choices and they didn't have the syrup with the pancakes, we homeschool, and they did so much better that all day. I mean, they were like even killed. And I have to tell you, every one of my kids, well, except for Calvin. Calvin is our eldest. He's 23, 24. He doesn't have this, but the rest of the kids all have ADHD. And so honestly, they need to like be off of all sugars all the time. And it's just so hard, I think, to be able to do that, to keep them. It is at home, I can regulate it so much, but when they're in other places and there's some sort of a community event or something like that, people give your kids sugar, and they do. And it's like, oh, there are prizes one day, or we're having a party or something, and the kids come home with just gobs and gobs of sugar. And they know, I always tell them, look, you can have one piece, but please bring the rest of it home, and they do. I'm surprised they do, but they do. I don't think I would have been so honest as a child myself, but they have been. And if you think about that, it feels kind of odd because for other people to be giving your child, I mean, I would never give another child candy that's not my child. It just seems odd. It's the first thing that you teach them is don't take candy from strangers. And yet at the same time, when they go to parties and whatnot or whatever events, they give them candy. So I don't know, it's just kind of confusing. But yeah, so we're learning a lot on that front. But anyway, this is fun, guys. I want to do this again. I know I didn't give everybody enough time to check in, but I really wanted my husband to be here to answer some of his questions. Rosie says it was so sweet that they gifted you candied popcorn. Oh my goodness, when did you see that? That is so funny. You're right. Oh, the Cracker Jacks. Yes. I thought you were talking about something else. We have some friends, and I don't know if I could show you this. I'm going to pick you up and take you over there. Don't mind my dishes or anything like that. Let me turn the light on. We have some. Okay, sorry guys, I lost you for a minute. Sorry about that. All right, so we have some really good friends. They're wonderful, and we love them to pieces. And look up there. My husband put it on the very top shelf. It's a big old bag of Boom Chicka. It's kettle corn. And we are waiting to have that. We're going to break that open on Memorial Day. But we put it way up there because it doesn't exactly fit into the sugar challenge. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't lose anybody. Rosie says, how funny. Yeah, so my husband put it up there, but we took a picture of him like acting like he was dumping that in his mouth, and I don't think I put it on Instagram. I was wondering how you saw that, but it was the Cracker Jacks you were talking about. But yeah, Cracker Jacks. Oh my goodness, there was what was that? It was like I don't know, 14 grams of sugar or something like that. It was crazy, but I wasn't going to spend it. But anyway, Rosie says, will you continue counting sugars? I will continue counting sugars. I think that I've only just begun doing that. And so Lisa says, I had a doctor tell me sugar was toxic for me. I laughed then, but I sure believe him now. Isn't that something? I know it. I was reading a story a long time ago of somebody, I don't know, saying that they met a real famous actress, and he was going on about how she was so young looking and she took care of herself, and he was just really surprised at how beautiful her skin was, and she was pretty mature. And when he asked her what her secret was, she said that she stayed away from sugar like it was the plague because it was like really bad for your skin. And that has always stuck with me. Sarah says, I just got some Boom Chicka popcorn. I got the sea salt. Oh, it is so good. I could love that stuff. I could live on it. Charlotte says that crunchy stuff is my downfall, but I'm going to try to keep counting. Me too. That's why it's really high and I can't reach it without getting a stool. So by the time I get the stool and put it up there and climb up there, I've had like 3 to 5 seconds where I could talk myself into waiting, waiting for it. Which that stuff is actually pretty good because I checked it and I think 2 cups of it is, what is it? It's very reasonable. It's like 7 grams of sugar or something like that for 2 cups. And we'll probably just have like, well, I don't want to say this, but I would say 1 cup. But once you start eating that, right? I know the sweet and the salty. Oh, anyway, it's the stuff I sneak into the movies. Rosie, please invite your husband for the next live chat. We need a story. I definitely will. He just got out of the pool, so he's walking around without a shirt on. So he's a little. He'd be too embarrassed to sit down right now. But I think he's keeping the kids quiet so they don't all charge in here. Um, there was something else I was going to tell you guys. Oh yeah, on the sugar front. Now I have a few of these books from Suzanne Summers. Right, I used to be on the summer sizing program that she did years ago, and I had really good luck with that. It's more like food combining, but she has a son named Bruce, and I don't know if you know about him or not, but he has done a lot of different like marathon bike rides, and he really keeps into shape. And she said he was really getting into shape and he was like doing his bike rides and everything. And for some reason, and he was doing summer sizing, staying on the program, but he just could not drop those last few pounds, right? And then when he figured it out, he had to look at the amount of sugars he was having. And the amount of sugar, I think he figured out that it was his creamer that he was having because he was adding like a ton of creamer and having a lot of creamer all day long in his coffees. And once he cut that back, it was too much sugar. Boom, all of a sudden his weight loss kicked in and everything just fell into alignment. And so it was his number of sugars that was out of whack. And so I thought that has always kept stuck with in my head as well. So I know it really counts for a lot. And I know that sometimes even when we can stay within the Weight Watchers points, um, if our sugars are out of alignment, that can cause a problem. You know what I mean? So, and I've been looking at that the last couple days where it looks like I'm going to be okay on Weight Watchers, but I'm way out of my sugar league. Rosie says giving up creamer is something I know will be tough right now. Yeah, me too. That's why I'm like really looking for something else. And I'll let you know how it goes when I add the egg white protein as a creamer. And let's see. I was looking for, in the creamer section today, I saw something called leaner creamer. And it's the basis of that is coconut oil. And I know oil, but it's like, I think it lists 1 gram of fat and it's supposed to be lactose free and gluten free and artificial, no, I think what do they use to sweeten it? Well, they use monk fruit to sweeten it. And so, but the one thing about I almost tried it. It's powdered. I almost tried it, but it's a jar about yay big, and it was like $10 for that little jar. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just wasn't ready to do that. I'm here. I had like 3 different creamers in my basket already. Suzanne says, "Where do you get that egg white protein?" I get it. It's called J Rob Egg White Protein, and I get it at Whole Foods. But I found it at Sprouts not long ago. So Sprouts has it as well. It's a little pricier than like, a Vega One or, some other ones. Rosie says, "Is that creamer for the stars?" Yeah, I think it is. Leaner creamer is a specialty creamer for the stars. I definitely couldn't stay in it. Lisa says, "I sure wish I could figure out. I keep being told I need to eat more. Not sure. I'm not hungry. Maybe bulk up. It's not creamer." LOL. Right? One thing I've been doing, and I don't know if you've noticed on my points when I'll post a picture of the points that I've had for the day, is Charlotte says, "I'm going to go. My phone battery is about gone." Oh, okay, Charlotte. I think I'm going to wrap it up in just a few minutes too. I don't want to drain your guys' battery. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Okay, yeah. So that on that last point, what was I going to tell you about that? Oh, it was about creamer. It just evaded me. I'm so sorry. Rosie says, "Bye, Charlotte." Oh, this was really fun, you guys. I'm going to have a list of questions next time we do this, and I'll sit my hubby down and I'll give everybody some more time to tune in. But anyway, I will let you go. I see that we've been on about a half an hour, and I don't want to take any more of your valuable time. Suzanne says, "Bye, Charlotte." Uh, Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is probably sign off, you guys. I really can't thank you enough for tuning in for my first live. You guys are wonderful. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And I will let you know when we do this again. Does anybody have any other questions before we go? If not, I'm going to let you guys go. And I want to say thank you so much. Lisa says it was great talking. It was, Lisa. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you, Rosie. You too. Thank you, Suzanne. All right. I'll